recording there. Test. All right then. So I just made a discovery that is incredibly powerful and useful for me, and I wanted to share it with you because I think I can save you some time and hassle and guesswork and all that. I realized that $500 invested in a good pair of headphones can make my music almost instantly better, and it's kind of insane to think about it. The way that this works, the reason I'm saying this is because I've been working on these Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros for, I don't know, forever. I've been using these for a long time, but all the music that you may have heard of mine, if you've heard any of it, or anything that I've made in the last year and a half maybe, I've been using these to record it, and actually within about the last 9 months, maybe 10 months now, I've been in the process of moving. I moved out of Brooklyn, and I'm now about an hour and a half upstate New York, and we're in the process of building a studio. You can see there's like insulation in my walls over here, stuff we haven't finished yet, and I'm very slow at the process. But so I've been making all of my music on headphones. And I do all of my own writing, arranging, singing, mixing, mastering, producing, all of that stuff. That's just me. I know that that's normally about 5 different people's jobs. There's usually a producer, there's usually a the performer or songwriter, there's usually a recording engineer, a mixing engineer, a mastering engineer, all those kinds of things. And most people tend to go that way, but I like to do all of my own work, and I like to learn. I'm constantly learning how to make my music better. So that's why I like to mix and master everything of my own. But that also means that I'm needing to do more than just, listen to the part as I'm recording it. So these headphones have served me well for just tracking, just recording and just writing the music and putting it into the DAW, recording it into the computer for a while now. But recently I've really been hearing kind of the limitations of my ability to make really flat and clear music with the DT770 Pros. Over the last maybe 6 months or so, I can tell that I am not really quite getting what I need out of these. And I didn't realize until I just turned 31 like a couple of weeks ago, and my wife bought me these for my birthday. They're DT 1990 Pro. So they're an open back, much nicer headphone. I didn't realize until listening on these and then going back to listen to things on these, how much is actually not there. And not only not there, but colored in a way or changed in a way that's not beneficial to really hearing your music in the 770 Pros. And I'm not saying that the 770 Pros are bad. They're cool. They're great. If I weren't trying to mix and master this record that I'm working on right now at a world-class level, then I wouldn't have a problem just using these. Like for my YouTube stuff, these have been pretty fine, The biggest reason that I've been wanting to upgrade to these, and that my wife got me these 1990 Pros, is that I've been wanting to make music on a higher level, something more approaching the level of what you hear in like the top 40 production. And I don't mean like all of it, I mean like the good stuff. You go listen to a Sting record or something and it's just gorgeous, it's beautiful. And I wanted to approximate that, get as close as I could possibly get to that. So I realized that I needed to be able to hear what's happening more accurately and more clearly. That's why she got me these. So the reason I'm making this video today is because of understanding this now. I wanted to share this concept with you, how these are really affecting my music. And I also wanted to do something that I haven't really heard from anybody else, which is I want to go back and forth between the headphones and try to approximate what these ones do to the sound, meaning in the DAW, I'm going to adjust the music while listening on here to approximate what I hear in here. I want to do this because I want you to have an idea of the major difference that I've found between the two levels of headphones. I've decided to take a piece of one of the songs that I'm working on for this record and just kind of vamp it so it kind of plays over and over, and without like vocal parts, singing parts, so that we don't get distracted by that, but we can hear kind of just the music quality, and really try and distinguish the difference between these two headphones. By the way, I've got these both hooked into my mixer, both in separate headphone plugs. with the volumes turned differently so that they come out sounding the same volume to me. So I'm not going to be hearing one volume louder than the other, because this is an 80 ohm headphone and this is a 250 ohm headphone, which means that this one should be quieter in general when compared to this one if you're listening to the same volume out of the same machine, because it takes a lot more power to power these ones. But anyway, I've taken care of that here. So yeah, let's try this out. Okay, so first thing I'm hearing and thinking is the EQ is much different on these. Yeah. So the other thing that this is really changing, that these 1990s do that the 770s don't, is these have an amazing stereo field. Everything seems bigger, and whereas these tend to kind of feel more like it's almost monoized, almost kind of, well, so now I'm going to try and approximate that feeling. I cannot make the song sound as good in the 770 Pros as it does in the 1990 Pros, because there's a lot of like detailed precision sounds difference in the two headphones. Unfortunately, this cannot really replicate some of the clarity, the real depth of I don't know how to put it. I think you understand kind of the general idea. But I've tried to approximate with EQ and with a direction mixer here what these are doing to my song that these are not doing. So come here, check it out, and I'll A/B and show you. Okay, so that's a big difference, at least in my opinion. I'm not really incredibly accurate with all this stuff. This is just kind of the feelings that I get from these two different headphones, the general sounds that I'm hearing. I'm sure there's stuff you can compare them with, like technology stuff that will do a much better job than I just did approximating it here. But this is just to give you guys an idea of really what the 1990 Pros can open up as far as your hearing. And I think it's incredibly valuable in the mixing and mastering process that you can hear higher resolution and hear more reality, I guess, more clarity. And yeah, I don't really know how to put it exactly, but I think if we work on better quality headphones, better quality equipment like this, then our product is going to be better, meaning our music, our art is going to be better as a result. And that's why I think that $500 for these to instantly improve your sound just by being able to know what's there and adjust for reality, I think that's totally freaking worth it if you can handle it. I think the next price point would be around $1,000 to $1,500 for like another really nice bump in headphone quality, but I don't really know if it would be as huge a bump in headphone quality as the jump between the 770 Pros and the 1990 Pros are. I need to go find some of those kinds of headphones and listen to them just to check it out. But I am over the moon with what the 1990 Pros have allowed me to do with my music, to really hone in on getting the sounds closer to world class. In my opinion, the 770 Pros really kind of narrow the stereo stage, basically the area in which you're hearing things. And I don't think it is as simple as I kind of approximated here with the DAW. I don't think it's just taking everything that's left and right and moving it more closer towards the center. I think things that are really far left and right, you still hear them really far left and right in the 770 Pros. But I think the kind of stage where things are is a little more kind of extreme. Like you hear things that are really far on the left or right, great. And then a lot of other things that are kind of in the middle, they're just kind of squished. towards the center. Whereas the 1990 Pros for me feel like everything is spread out a lot more accurately the way I expect it to be when I'm, putting it in different stereo places. And the other difference between the two that I find most prevalent is the EQ effect. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that these are closed-backed headphones. These are, meant to keep the sound in, whereas these are open-backed headphones. So they have, holes in them basically. So the sound doesn't sound like you've put your hands right here. Like I'm going to do it to the microphone. If I put my hands right here, it probably sounds weird, right? Let me see what it sounds like. Kind of a weird, overemphasis of certain sounds, but not this big, deep and bright, crisp, beautiful, full sound, if you know what I mean. But yeah, if all you can afford is $500 and you want to make that $500 go as far as it can go in your mixing and mastering quality, these are the shit. I would get these again in a heartbeat. Yeah. I think that's about it for me. I think that's about all I've got to say on that subject. Thanks for tuning in and listening, and I hope this was useful for you, and I hope this gives you a little more insight than I had when trying to figure out if you think you should get new headphones or if it's worth it or whatever. All right, Grant Stinnett signing off. I'll see y'all later.